Disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips a balance in favor of fair use. Okay, this is from the Apollo series. Children and teens on the RPF. Numerous indicators point to the probability that teenagers and preteens, you see what they're doing again? Preteens are children, are subject to the RPF program, from adults. These indicators include accounts from several former adult members, an internal Scientology document that refers to a children's RPF program. Imagine this is 2011, and still the FBI, Department of Justice, Homeland Security, still nobody's done anything about it, even though child prisons are against the law. These indicators include accounts from several former adult members, an internal Scientology document that refers to a children's RPF program, a reporter's account in a newspaper article, and television footage that apparently shows teenagers on the RPF. There's that teenager magic again. Program in Los Angeles unloading from a bus. 1. Accounts about children and teens from former adult members. There's no need to put teenager in there because anyone under 18 years old is a child. 2 adults who had been in the RPF on the Apollo reported that they knew of a preteen, a child, who was in the program. Monica Pignotti stated that a 12-year-old girl was in the RPF during the same time that she was. Kent interview with Pignotti, 1997. Likewise, Dale related that he saw an 11-year-old girl whom he knew on the Apollo's RPF. I do wonder, was she SA'd and then they made her go to the RPF? Because that's something they really like to do. When the children get raped, they send the children to the child RPF. The child prison. Whom he knew on the Apollo RPF after he himself had been in it. Kent interview with Dale, 1997. An additional account of a child on the RPF came from Pat, who insisted that she knew a 6-year-old girl. 6-year-old girl, LAPD. Whom she named, who went into the program in Los Angeles because, listen to this, you guys. Oh, okay, wait. She knew a 6-year-old whom she named, who went into the program in Los Angeles because she was out 2D. I think that's a misspelling. I think it's supposed to be not he, but she. So the 6-year-old was out 2D, you guys. I called it. So going to Scientology, you can rape a 6-year-old girl, and then they will punish the little girl for being raped. And everybody's fine with that. Scientology's term for either sexual problems or family difficulties. No, what that means is the little girl was flirting with the grown-ass man who raped her. Finally, a former Sea Org member who uses the pseudonym Steve Jebsen posted in the alt-religion Scientology news group that he had personal knowledge about a 12 or 13-year-old boy being assigned to the RPF in Los Angeles. Could that have been Serge? I forgot what year Serge was in there. I don't remember. Because it was the same situation. I think. 2. References to children on the RPF in a Scientology document. Just reading this just boils my blood. This testimonial evidence identifies that children and teenagers. Well, by the way, if a person is under 18, they're still considered a child. So all this deciphering children and teenagers, let it go already. It's boring. We're in various RPF programs with adults. An internal Scientology document, however, indicates that Hubbard had established a special RPF for children, and subsequent Scientologists, you know, the parents, right, in leadership positions, reinitiated the program. Great bunch of parents, aren't they? Presumably after it had lapsed for some reason. The available document is a poor quality photocopy. Of course it's poor quality, right? Written by Nedra Kohi in 1989, who was working with the program for Sea Org children. Second gens, do you guys remember Nedra Kohi? Sounds like a real winner over there. Called the Cadet Org. Kohi's stated purpose for producing the letter was that she felt the need to reinstitute the children's RPF. You see, these bastards they're sadists. Could this old hag be one of the people who keep whining about elder abuse? Why don't you guys do some research, bro? Some of them just need to burn in hell. As background to the request for renewing the program, the author discussed its history. In 1976, when the Commodore, like the fake Navy fat slob that he wasn't even really a Commodore. He's just a wannabe. Sick of it already. Reestablished the cadet org, because they needed their slave labor. He also included the children's RPF as part of this in 1986-87. LRH, the freaking fake hero god that everybody thought was so wonderful. Black tooth potbelly, low-life scumbag, wannabe Navy, flunky loser that didn't do well in school, using child slaves in the cadet org. The reinstituting of the children's RPF was very instrumental as one of the successful actions done, which 10x'd, knocked out the cadet org at that time. The children's RPF was run per the FO's flag orders, which are similar to Sea Org policy letters. Imagine these morons just follow this blindly, like a bunch of sheep. On the children's RPF 3434 series. And imagine a lot of these people that are claiming that they're speaking out against Scientology are still practicing Scientology. They're all into having child slaves and allowing children to be raped and then punishing the children. If this passage is accurate, now why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be? Then Hubbard himself established the children's RPF in 1976. You see how they're trying to squirm out of that one? Because, LRH. And policies exist about its operation in the Flag Order 3434 series, dedicated to the RPF in general. Imagine that all this time the LAPD pretended like they didn't know this was going on. The one-page letter or memo also provides insight into the lives of children in and associated with the cadet organization. Kohi wrote that there were several cadets, children, and blown cadets, i.e. runaways. Yeah, because they were trying to get the fuck out of there. Because, abuse. nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, who need to go to the Children's RPF. What kind of parents would allow this? While most of the cadets were improving and producing, a very small percentage are interbulative. Just what I talk about earlier. Interbulate this. Interbulate this. Disruptive sources and our sabotaging efforts to set the scene right. No, they wanted to have their own thoughts. That's what they wanted. They want to have a little bit of freedom and play like children are supposed to be allowed. One boy named in the text was a special problem. You guys, who wrote this order up? You guys see how they protect their own? Okay, I guess it was Kohi that wrote this. He needs to be moved off everyone's lines. And you see they didn't even name him. It says it's named in text. Why don't we get their name? Were they one of the children that killed themselves? He needs to be moved off everyone's lines, i.e. taken out of the organization's daily operations and put into the Children's RPF. These people are monsters, you guys. Do you understand? Monsters. He recently took a razor blade and cut X's in his skin, up and down both arms. Wonder if that was... Well, that was 1989. He is psychotic in PT, in present time. Oh, I guess now they're psychiatrists, huh? Abuse a child enough, and that's the kind of thing that happens. The reason children cut is because they feel like there's no control, and they also stop feeling. Nathan Rich talked about that in his book. I'm going to read chapter 7 tomorrow. And needs close supervision. Yeah, they're afraid he's going to kill himself. It's the only thing they're afraid of. The only thing they're afraid of is black PR. Imagine the audacity of some of these people that come forward trying to act like they care about children. In summary, some of the children in the cadet org were disruptive to the point of running away. No, they're abused. I don't even like how they're wording this stuff. And one obviously troubled youth, not troubled, abused youth, was self-mutilating. That's abuse. Kohi's response, however, was to advise the boy he should receive close supervision in the Children's RPF program. All they're doing is trying to prevent him from killing himself. It's not that they care about this child. In our governments, they give the red stamp or the gold stamp on everything, but never recommended professional counseling or other professional assistance for him. And also, too, why aren't people saying, where are the parents? What is, so devoid in these people's minds? It can't be all mind control, because they're able to function every day, do all this baloney, do the production, all this other stuff. I don't want to hear excuses anymore. I'm just done with it. Because a lot of these Scientologists, their children are going to be taken away from them. They should prepare for that. Put the children in a home full of love and kindness. 3, television and newspaper accounts of teenagers. You see this teenager magic they're doing again? Yeah, it's the teenager magic. Accounts of children on the RPF. Every time I see teenager, I'm going to say child. Additional evidence that a children's RPF operated in or near Los Angeles. The Hemet police are fine with it. So are the LAPD. Appeared in an unlikely source, an August 1989 news broadcast from television station COCO in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. The news broadcast, of which I have a video copy, was the first in a series on Scientology's Narconon program, a reputed drug rehabilitation program. Yeah, go look into that one. That had begun to operate on an Indian reservation near Newkirk, Oklahoma. Apparently, the series ran in August 1989, but the television station was unable to provide me with an exact date. Now, why would they say that? The announcer refers to events, however, that led me to conclude that it ran on August 21st. In one segment, reporter Larry Blunt was on the sidewalk, presumably near the main Scientology complex in Los Angeles, having just completed an interview with Scientology Linda, SIC Lisa Goodman. The camera moved around to a scene unfolding across the street and some distance away, and Blunt offered the following commentary about what was captured on film. Shortly after that exchange with Goodman, a Scientology bus loaded with young people, children, dressed in black, pulled up. I believe the black is for the RPF. And I believe the dark blue, navy, is EPF. They jogged into the Scientology complex. Yeah, they were on the RPF. Imagine that the governments are signing off on this stuff, pretending as if we've got laws and rules against these things. A recent defector of Scientology told me they were from the church's rehabilitation project force. They were found to be a problem and needed an attitude adjustment. That's just because people start to think their own thoughts and ask questions. That's not allowed. This film segment is over in a matter of seconds, but viewers are able to count at least 13 teens, 13 children, 2 or more who appear to be females, all wearing dark suits. Wonder if those female children were raped, because they really like to put the girls that get raped and speak out about it, they put them in the RPF. If anybody did that around me, all wearing dark suits with short sleeves and short pants. Of course, the dark uniforms and the jogging requirement are standard for people assigned to the RPF, while the Scientology organizations may insist that adults in the RPF program are there willingly. It is difficult to manage the justification or excuse applying to children whose presumed ages would suggest that they should be under the care of parents or guardians. You see how they try to teenager magic everything? How would they be able to confirm the age of these children? And all you got to do is just look at the size, their height, and their weight. It's not hard. And the majority of the Scientology children, especially in the Sea Org, are extremely underweight. It's a fact. To children whose presumed ages would suggest that they should be under the care of parents or guardians. How about that? And, by the way, not guardians that rape them, because that happens a lot as well. So don't just hand your children over. I know things happen. I know mistakes happen. I get that. But you just have to be careful. That's all I'm saying. A final indicator that children are RPF inmates comes from a 1984 newspaper article published in the Clearwater Sun. The young man, by all appearances, a child, crouched on the dark, narrow stairway as he scrubbed the 6th floor landing in the former Fort Harrison Hotel. It's happening right now, by the way. Right now it's happening. The Flag Land Base headquarters of the Church of Scientology Are you in the RPF? Queried a reporter. Sir? He asked quietly, peering up from his work. Are you in RPF? Yes, sir, I am. RPF is a rehabilitation project force, which, depending on who is speaking, is either a businessman's approach to improving an employee's lagging job performance or a form of punishment for Scientologists who are banished to serve penance for their misdeeds and bad thoughts. Now, why would you put the church language in there, you guys? You see why I get irritated? Two others, adult men, who like the youth. Isn't that great? They mix the adults with the children in the RPF. That's not an invitation for pedophilia, is it? Not the brightest in the bunch. Those who have spent time in the RPF at the Fort Harrison tell a harrowing. Why is it always harrowing, you guys? Is it harrowing because harrow equates to a Freemasonic number? Inquiring MF minds want to know. Why is everything harrowing? And some people that use it don't know. So I just want to say that. Tale of long hours at work, as much as 100 hours a week, and of months of humiliation and mental abuse at the hands of other Scientologists. Yeah, adult Scientologists, by the way. But their vivid recollections of hard work and abuse contradict current Church of Scientology statements that the RPF is an entirely voluntary program. You see the little excuses they try to use? And that was from Shellor, 1984. Look at how people talk. Of course, we cannot be certain of the young inmate's age, but it appears that youth is no barrier to serving time in Scientology's forced labor and reindoctrination program. I will leave a link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.